Hi there, Leo. Thank you for joining me for your weekly forecast for week commencing the 1st of October. This is a very dramatic week. There's loads going on, so I'll try to pick through it in a way that's easily understandable. It begins with quite a lot of nervous energy, and if you are someone who's been feeling more restless recently, it wouldn't be a surprise. The desire to break out and do different things can be almost overwhelming, but there could be someone at the heart of your life who's resisting this change, and it could even be you. But it's important that you don't get into a thing where you're saying, well, I can't do that. I've got to be there at the weekend for the kids, or there's work and all the rest of it. And that stops you. It's almost like a comfort blanket that stops you going beyond your area of safety, inner safety, when really, if you did, it could be quite an exciting vista out there. So try to embrace that. Now, if you are doing too much to please other people and not enough to satisfy your own adventurism, this is a time to act. Now, there is going to be a move on Wednesday, and Venus moves out of your sign. Now, that might sound a little bit sad, and it has been giving you added charisma, if it's possible, over the last 28 days, but it moves into a great area for cash, but just not for the first 2 or 3 days, because if anyone discusses financial issues with you for those days, be very wary, especially if they're trying to sell you something at a knockdown price. There's going to be a reason for that, and it could be that it's knocked off. So proceed with caution. But once you get beyond this, I think you're going to find that your finances improve, and that can really make you feel a lot happier. Then Mercury moves on Friday, and it moves into a part of your horoscope that's to do with where you live. Now, I'm going to tell it as it is. Mercury is not that happy in what's known as the fourth solar house. There can be a tendency to bottle up our feelings, and it's one that you need to try to avoid doing, particularly as Saturn arrives on Saturday, because, ironically, Saturn, so Saturn rules Saturdays. Well, Saturn arrives for a 30-month stay, occupation in Scorpio. So I think you're going to find that issues to do with making small minor repairs to your property, your home, thinking about moving to somewhere bigger if you've got a growing family, moving somewhere smaller if the kids have departed. Quite a lot of changes around where you live, family life. There can be some limitations. For example, you may decide that you want to work from home, but it might not always be easy to get the concentration you need because people could keep popping their head round the door. So issues to do with home come under the astral microscope. But this is also a week that sees 2 other changes. Jupiter goes backwards in your sector of friendship, just suggesting don't take any friends for granted. And then Mars moves into a fab location, one which can bring out a real appetite for life, particularly for sport, either watching or playing it, or for getting a bit more raunchy when it comes to your love life. But the key is you need to be getting raunchy with someone that you can really relate to at an emotional level. And if there is any kind of gap between someone that you're closely involved with at the moment, where you get on in a certain way, but perhaps intimacy or sharing fears, worries, concerns is not such a strong area, then I do think this is something you're going to need to work at in the next 2.5 years. Thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye for now.